Alright guys, so Fula with another video. Shout out to the whole LDBC. So in this video, man, I want to go back to track and field, of course. Right now, the outdoor season still ain't start, but they've been having a lot of indoor meets. So, IAAF has one coming up, I think today, as a matter of fact. I think it's in, I don't know where it is actually. I think it's in somewhere in Europe, basically. But the event I want to talk about, man, I want to talk about the long jump. I already did the hurdles, the high hurdles. I already did the triple jump. And I already did the 400 meters. So we're going to move into some long jump. Now, the long jump, man, traditionally has been like an event, as you guys probably already know, has been an event that a sprinter will do basically to, do something different than just keep on running 100 meters, just keep on running your 200 meters. Usually, your best jumpers are also good sprinters. You usually, like a long jumper, he can run a pretty fast 100 meters. He can run a pretty fast 200 meters, and even sometimes he can run a pretty fast 400 meters, man, because the training for the long jump, you kind of need to have that extra wind in you in case you need to take more jumps to win the contest. Sometimes what happens is with the long jump, you can take one jump and that'll be it. Like your first jump will win. You can take like one good jump, and then that jump is over. You get to basically put your feet up afterward. Sometimes that has happened where you got guys who jump 57 meters. You got guys who jump 870 and they just say, you know what, I'm not going to take no more jumps. Because I will tell you this, these sports, like boxing, like track and field, these are physically taxing sports. Even with the perfect technique, even when everything is clicking, they're taxing on the body, and the less taxing you can take, the better it is. That's why I will say that you have to be responsible to do the techniques right in order to be good at it, and to save your body, not force the issue, you know what I mean? But with long jump, man, the techniques haven't really changed much. There's usually two ways. There's a couple of ways of jumping. The first way, you can do it is a lot of people use a technique called hanging. And with a hanging technique, is pretty much you running and then you jump in the air and you just pretty much putting your hands up and putting your your legs back and just kind of jumping and then landing. A lot of people use that technique. It's one of the easier techniques to use. Some people use what they call the sail technique, and what that sail technique means is that you basically use one knee, you jump off of the one leg, you stick the opposite knee up, and then you keep that there, and then you land. Now the technique I like to use is called the hitch kick. And basically what the hitch kick is it's like running in the air. You know, you just do basically two runs in the air, and then you man, you know. And that's the one I like to use. Now, you know, I guess you can say like the long jumping powerhouses has traditionally been America, basically. Um, you know, you had Ralph Boston. He was the first one to break like the 27 feet barrier. You had Larry Myritz, right? You had Carl Lewis, which I don't want to get into. I mean, that dude is a jerk. Carl Lewis is a jerk. I don't have respect for him at all. You know. You had a lot of good, like, long jumpers, man, from America, basically, though. You had Dwight Phillips. You had, like, in Dwight Phillips, like, towards I want to say in the 90s, in the like mid 2000s, he was very dominant. Like, nobody can stop that dude. That dude was on a tear. You know, Olympic champion, world champion. And I think he was one of those dudes that his first jump was enough to win a world championship before. You know, he just said, "Oh, I don't need to jump anymore." I think it was in Finland, I believe. You had guys like guys, I want to say, like, trying to think of some more dudes who were very good long jumpers. You had Mike Beeman, who had the Olympic record and who could jump out of the building, basically, like very, very, very crazy bounce. Yeah, I think he has I want to say he has the Olympic record of the longest jump. I think, yeah, 55. Let me see actually what was the longest he jumped, basically. I think he jumped, yeah, he jumped like 895. Or no, actually he didn't jump 895. He jumped like 890, you know. Yeah, he jumped like 29 feet, you know. He jumped he jumped far as shit, basically, you know, in the Olympic Games. And it's like, you know, that dude can go. And then you have Mike Powell. And the crazy thing about Mike Powell is Mike Powell didn't even start off as a long jumper. Mike Powell started off as actually I believe a sprinter. And then he went to high jump, you know. And that was a good move to the long jump. And, you know, he's the current record holder. He jumped 895, and he did that like at the World Championships in Tokyo. Now, a lot of people kind of contest it, but yeah, it was the legal jump, and it was the world record, you know. And he was going against Carl Lewis, and Carl Lewis was so butthurt when he made that record. Like, Carl Lewis, you can see it in his face. He was hurt. He was hella hurt. I'm telling you, go back and watch that. Go back and watch Mike Powell's world record, okay? And you're gonna see, what you call it? You're gonna see him so upset. Now, my personal favorite long jumper of the past, you know, I gotta give it to him. I gotta give it to Ivan Pedrosa of Cuba. And the reason why I'm going to say Ivan Pedrosa of Cuba had the best jumping is because he had the perfect blend of speed, technique, and bounce, okay? And the problem is, this is the messed up thing about it, you know. he had jumps that honestly, they were farther than, they were actually farther than, basically they were like 9 meters. Okay, but they didn't count it. You know, he had a record, but they waved it off. They said it was too much wind aided and stuff like that, and they basically said, they basically said, nah, we're not going to count it. You know, because there was a time where he jumped in somewhere in Europe or something like that, and I mean, he damn near went 9 meters. You know, but they disallowed it. You know, they took it off. I mean, they took his, he had the record. He jumped like, he jumped like 896. But they said, nah, we're not going to give it to him. And I guess you can say there was some politics. There was some politics involved, basically. You know. And yeah. Now, the long jumpers of today, you know, you have a couple of good guys. You have Jeff Henderson in the U.S. He's a good jumper. You have, who else is a good long jumper? You have a couple of guys from South Africa who are on the scene now. You have, I want to say, let me see who in South Africa is like really jumping. I think there's like 3 guys who are really jumping in South Africa. You have Luvo Manyonga, he's a jumper, you know, and then you have Bushwal Samai, they're 2 jumpers who are jumping right now. But the jumper I like, of course, I gotta go back to Cuba because I'm just looking at his technique. Thing is, man, it's like with these Cuban athletes, man, they don't necessarily have the biggest muscles. They don't necessarily have like the brute strength, but it's just the technique that the technique is so perfect. The coordination is so perfect that thing comes together and they be bouncing. So there's this guy named Juan Echevarria from Cuba. And that dude's going to be a problem, man. And I honestly have him breaking the world record. You know, this guy is still hella young, too. This guy, I think, is only 20 years old, right? And he already jumping 883. So it's only a matter of time before this dude really puts it out there, and he's probably going to be a record holder. If he's only 20 and he's jumping 883, you can imagine what's going to happen next, you know. But with that being said, man, that's all I got for the long jump video. Again, this sport, you know, I mean, honestly, I'm going to say this, man, about these sports. About if you like do boxing, if you do track and field or something, you're not gonna have a need to you won't have a need for, like, how should I say it, for ego worship or anything like that, or you won't have a need for like constant selfies. You know how like fitness models be doing all those selfies, they be flexing and stuff like that. They be doing all of that. You won't have a need to do that because, you know, you're gonna get that with these sports. You're gonna get the 6-pack, you're gonna get the shoulders, you're gonna get the just the things that come with it, because there's more to these sports than meets the eye. You're in the weight room a lot. You know, you have to be in the weight room to build explosive power and to build the right technique for that explosive power. So with that being said, you know, you're going to do some work. You're going to be lifting heavy, you know, as a prerequisite to, you know, these things. And with that being said, you know, you're going to walk around looking like a, what you call it, looking like a humanoid, basically. You know, out of control. But, that's all I got for now, guys. Leave your thoughts, leave your comments. For those who are into track and field, let's collaborate. Let's talk about the upcoming Diamond League schedule, which is coming to us pretty soon. And the World Championships are coming as well, If I can stay healthy, then, hey, I probably may have a meal ticket into the World Championships, basically. But anyhow, that's all I got for now, guys. Leave your thoughts, leave your comments. I'm out until the next one. Enjoy.